In a quiet, affluent neighborhood of Los Angeles, the luxurious Johnson family estate stood tall against the evening sky. The mansion, with its gleaming windows and well-manicured lawns, was a testament to wealth and status. On the second floor, Emma Johnson, a reserved 16-year-old, sat in her room by the window. The fading sunlight painted streaks of orange and pink across the walls, contrasting the sleek, modern decor. Emma stared blankly at her phone screen, her hands trembling as she read the latest message from her cousin, Sarah. "Emma, what's going on? The police are involved. Your parents filed a missing person report. Are you okay? Please respond." Her breath caught in her throat. Missing person report? She hadn't left the house all week. Confused and alarmed, Emma quickly typed back, "Sarah, I'm home. What are you talking about?" Almost instantly, Sarah replied, "Check social media. It's all over Instagram." Emma's fingers hovered over her phone as dread pooled in her chest. She opened Instagram, her heart pounding. The first post that appeared was from her mother's account. A family photo from a pristine beach resort, her parents and older brother, Ethan, smiling under the tropical sun. The caption read, "Our beloved daughter Emma is missing. We're devastated and working with the police to find her. Please pray for her safe return." The room seemed to spin. Emma's stomach churned as she reread the post. Missing? Safe return? She hadn't gone anywhere. Her phone buzzed with more messages from concerned friends, each one echoing the same disbelief and worry. Emma clenched her fists, a cold anger rising within her. Why would her parents lie? Her mind flashed back to the morning they had left for their week-long vacation. It was a scene she couldn't forget. Over breakfast in their expansive dining room, her mother, Victoria, had casually announced the family's trip to Hawaii. "We've been planning this for months. A perfect getaway to celebrate Ethan's graduation," Victoria had said, her tone dripping with excitement. Ethan had grinned, raising his glass of freshly squeezed orange juice. "It's going to be epic." Emma's gaze had shifted to her father, Robert, who sat across from her, scrolling through his phone. He hadn't even looked up. "And me?" Emma had asked hesitantly, hope flickering in her chest. Victoria's cheerful expression faltered. "Emma, sweetie, we think it's best if you stay home. You know how you get overwhelmed at big events. This is Ethan's moment. We don't want you to feel out of place." Her words had felt like a slap. Emma had wanted to argue, to demand an explanation, but the lump in her throat had silenced her. As the conversation continued, she realized no ticket had been booked for her. No seat on the plane, no room at the resort. She wasn't part of the plan. Now, sitting alone in her room, Emma's frustration and hurt simmered. They had left her behind, and instead of being honest, they had fabricated a story of her disappearance. But why? Was it to avoid questions about her absence? To preserve their image as the perfect family? Determined to uncover the truth, Emma decided to take action. She stood, her legs shaky, and began crafting her response. First, she grabbed the day's newspaper from her desk, ensuring the date was clearly visible. Then, she took a selfie in her room, the warm glow of the sunset casting a serene backdrop. With her expression calm but resolute, she posted the photo on Instagram with a caption that cut through the lies. "I am not missing. I've been at home this entire time. My parents left me behind, saying I didn't belong on their trip. And now they're lying about me being missing to protect their image. This is the truth." The post went viral within hours. Friends, relatives, and even strangers flooded the comments with outrage and support. "Unbelievable! Stay strong, Emma. How could they do this?" The hashtags number not missing and number family facade began trending. Emma's phone buzzed relentlessly with messages of solidarity, but also frantic calls from her parents. "Emma, take that post down now," her mother's voice demanded in a voicemail. "You don't understand what you're doing." Her father's message was no better. "We need to talk. You're blowing this out of proportion." Emma ignored them, her resolve strengthening with every passing minute. For the first time in her life, she felt heard. She wasn't invisible anymore. That night, Emma's grandmother Margaret called. "Emma, my dear." Her voice was soft but firm. "I've seen everything. You were brave to speak out." Tears welled in Emma's eyes. "Grandma, I don't know what to do. They've never cared about how I feel." "You're coming to stay with me," Margaret declared. "I've already spoken to a lawyer. This situation won't go unaddressed." 2 days later, Margaret arrived at the Johnson estate with Emma's uncle, Peter, and the lawyer. They were met by a flustered Victoria and Robert, who had just returned from their trip. "What is this?" Robert demanded, his voice tight with anger. Margaret didn't flinch. "We're here for Emma. She's been treated unfairly, and we won't stand for it." "This is a private matter," Victoria interjected, clutching her designer handbag nervously. "Outsiders have no place here." "Outsiders?" Margaret's tone sharpened. "You filed a public missing person report and lied to everyone about Emma. You've made this everyone's business." Emma stepped forward, suitcase in hand. "I'm leaving with Grandma. I can't stay here anymore." Her parents' protests fell on deaf ears. As Emma walked out the door, she felt a sense of liberation she hadn't thought possible. The mansion, with all its grandeur, no longer felt like home. For the first time, she was free to carve her own path. Over the next few weeks, Emma's story gained national attention. News outlets picked up her Instagram post, dubbing it, "A Teen's Courageous Stand Against Family Deceit." Offers for interviews and book deals poured in, but Emma declined. She wasn't ready to share more, not yet. Instead, she focused on healing. Living with Margaret was a revelation. Her grandmother's cozy home, filled with warmth and love, was the opposite of the cold luxury she had known. Margaret encouraged Emma to pursue her passion for writing, something her parents had always dismissed. "Your words have power," she told her. "Use them to tell your story." Emma began writing short stories and poems, channeling her emotions into her work. Her first piece, "The Girl Left Behind," was published in a local newspaper and quickly went viral. Readers praised her raw honesty and resilience. For the first time, Emma felt seen and valued. Her parents reached out multiple times, apologizing and pleading for forgiveness. "We made a mistake," Victoria wrote in an email. "We were wrong to exclude you. Please come home." But Emma knew their words couldn't erase years of neglect. Forgiveness would take time, if it came at all. For now, she was focused on building a life where she could thrive. Months later, Emma received acceptance into a prestigious creative writing program at a top university. It was a dream she hadn't dared to believe in before. As she stood in Margaret's garden, holding the acceptance letter, she felt a surge of pride and hope. The path ahead was hers to choose, and she was ready to embrace it. Looking back, Emma realized the lie of her missing had been a turning point. It had exposed the cracks in her family's facade and given her the strength to reclaim her voice. No longer erased, Emma was ready to write the next chapter of her life, on her own terms.